The 5 colors blind the eye, the 5 tones deafen the ear, the 5 flavors dull the taste. Racing and hunting madden the mind. Precious things lead one astray. Therefore, the sage is guided by what he feels and not by what he sees. He lets go of that and chooses this. In ancient Chinese culture, the number 5 was highly significant. They believed in 5 elements: water, earth, fire, wood, and metal. In ancient Chinese color theory, there are 5 colors: red, yellow, black, white, and the conflation of blue and green. There are 5 tones in the Chinese musical scale, and 5 flavors: salty, spicy, sweet, sour, and bitter. The basic gist of the first 3 lines of this chapter is that an excess of pretty much anything leads to undesirable results. A skilled artist, musician, or chef knows that in a painting, dish, or piece of music, less is often more. A good dish is created by building the entire recipe to highlight 1 or 2 key flavors. A good painting makes special use of a few particular colors, and a good piece of music features a main musical idea, known as the melody, supported by other instruments in the background. If a painting tried to use every color in the rainbow, or a piece of music tried to have several different melodies at once, the result is not as desirable. In art, as in life, it is often just as much about what you do not put in as what you do put in. This principle applies to many aspects of life. One area of my life where I have seen this concept illustrated has been in eating. Currently, I practice intermittent fasting during the day. For me, this means that during the day, I only eat between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., and then once at dinner around 6 p.m. and nothing after that. Opinions about fasting and the optimal times to do so are incredibly numerous, but this is a schedule that seems to work well for me right now. When I first decided to try intermittent fasting, I had doubts about whether I would be able to maintain the regime. I worried that by limiting the times I could eat, I would start to get less enjoyment out of eating. However, I found the opposite to be true. Although it isn't always fun to go without food during my fasting periods, I've learned that by regularly abstaining from food during the day, I can actually get a lot more enjoyment out of food during my feasting periods. In fact, I at first scheduled 1 day a week where I would take a break from my fasting routine and eat whatever I wanted. But after the first couple weeks, I actually discontinued the practice, opting instead to maintain the diet every day. I stopped taking breaks because I found that eating was actually a lot less fun on the days where I could eat whenever I wanted. I'm not sharing this story to endorse intermittent fasting, but to illustrate the concept of eliminating excess to maximize satisfaction. The second half of this passage has been translated several different ways. The translation that I have used for this video says, "The sage is guided by what he feels and not by what he sees." Another translation renders it as, "The sage attends to the inner and not to the outer." However, many translations translate the part about the inner, or what is felt, as having to do with the stomach, such as in this translation. Therefore, the sage seeks to satisfy the craving of the belly, and not the insatiable longing of the eyes. I actually like each of these translations for different reasons, and I think by using each of them together, we can get an idea for the full picture. Language is complex, and Lao Tzu often used words and phrases that could have held double meanings. To get an understanding of this passage, we need to understand a bit of background. In ancient Chinese medicine, the stomach is sort of the center or the core of the human body. It is where the power and energy comes from, or where the qi or life energy is said to be concentrated and focused. Therefore, referring to the stomach can have multiple meanings here. We can be talking about the physical needs of the body in contrast to desires for riches and expensive luxuries, and how we should prioritize the former. However, we can also be talking about attending to our intuition and the center of our consciousness and power, rather than focusing on the endless stream of sense experience that is paraded before our eyes. There's a lot to unpack here, and this is a great example of why reading multiple translations is beneficial, as each of these meanings offers us helpful wisdom. Feel free to leave any questions in the comments or in the Discord, and I will see you next time for Chapter 13. Thanks for watching. Peace and blessings.